Hello Sprinkles, and today we're going to be talking about anxiety. So when you guys were saying that you wanted some more deep conversations and deep topics to discuss, I was asking guys, okay, so what are some topics that you wanted to? And one of the questions that someone responded with was, have you ever had anxiety throughout the school year? Yeah, yes I have. Just to be clear, I have not been diagnosed with it. So I don't know if I actually have it or not. So I've struggled with fear a lot through my life, but it kind of popped up and more intensely during high school year. So sophomore year was definitely crazy for me just because that was I used to be homeschooled and then I transferred to my first public school, right? So that was a big transition. Well, not like big, like it wasn't that bad. Like I got used to it pretty like easily. But I can remember the night before the first day, I was lying in this bed, right? I was mostly worried about getting on the right bus because I never took a bus to school, right? So my brain was like, okay, starting out the day right, getting on the right bus. If I get on the wrong bus, I could go to the wrong school and that would not be fun. I remember praying like how nervous I was and like talking to God and being like, just can you help me with this? Like help me get through the day, help me figure things out. And I went on my phone and I went to the verse of the day. I actually painted what the verse was because it's like my favorite verse now. But the verse was Isaiah 41:13, and it was, "For I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you." And when it said at the end, "I will help you," my eyes were just tears flowing because I was like, oh dang. You heard me, and I was like, I asked, can you help me? And you said, I will help you, and I was like, okay. From the first week, I had peace being there because I felt like I was supposed to be there, I guess. But junior year is when I started getting more involved in the school, and I decided to join show choir. I've never done show choir before, and I tried to sign up for the advanced one just because I already knew like a couple people that were already in that choir, and my brain was like, well, if I get to that one, there'd be an easier transition because I'll have friends there already and they could help me and I would feel more at home there because I already know people there. But I've never danced and sang at the same time before and performed like that before, you know what I'm saying? So it was very new experience and I was really worried, but when I auditioned, the choir director let me in and I was like, okay, bet. But I had mixed emotions. Like I was excited that I got in. I was like, wow, that's so cool I was able to get in, but at the same time I was super nervous because I had no idea what I was doing. So the summer before junior, it was like a couple weeks before the junior started, there was the show choir camp. I was on edge that whole entire week, man. I bet you I had like, I think it was just like three anxiety attacks just in that 1 week. It wasn't there, but it was just like the night of, it's just because like, I don't know. I was just on edge and just little things would just set me off or whatever. And for those that are maybe wondering or don't know, for me, in my experience, what anxiety attack feels like, it's like your heartbeat starts to like get faster, and then you have like shorter breaths, and then you start to shake a little bit over like time if you don't slow down those breaths, and then if you just keep letting your mind race and race, and then when it gets bad, then you start to tear up, and then you just cry and shake and breathe heavily. So it's not a fun time. Basically, I would get nervous if I learned like newer dances or if I just danced in front of people. I had to get used to dancing in front of people and being confident in the dancing ability. And then another thing that I would get like anxious about is like right before we perform and go on stage. What I know for me, what kind of sets me off and makes me more anxious is when I'm doing like newer things and kind of like getting outside of my comfort zone and being in like new environments. Senior year, I've gotten more used to it and just kind of like I just kind of learned a lot from it, and so it didn't happen as often to have anxiety attacks just because I learned like what kind of sets me off and just kind of like how to work my way around it. So here's some of like my tips and like things that I've learned from having from my anxiety experience. So first I would suggest to recognize what's causing it, what sets you off, what is happening right there that you're worried about. And then second, you want to take deep breaths because it helps with the heart rate. It helps kind of slow it down, and that helps you calm down overall. There's different things that you can do in the moment to help calm you down. There's this sensory thing where I think it's like you write down 5 things you see, 4 things you touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, 1 thing you taste, or something like that. Recognizing your senses and things that you see, hear, and that kind of thing in the room. So that kind of like shifts your focus. Be aware of your own thoughts and what you're saying to yourself and the things that you're worried about. Like listen to your thoughts and try to think like, oh, is this actually going to happen? Recognize thought patterns you're having and trying to counter that. Balance out it and not have it being overwhelmed with negativity. Sometimes like leaving an area or like leaving the room or separating yourself from what is causing it. Like if something in the room is causing you to be anxious, sometimes if you separate yourself, get out of the room, take a breather, take a little break. At least for me, it can help. I know especially because sometimes if you're taking a break or like trying to distract yourself or watch like a little video of something or listen to a song or something to distract yourself and get you out of whatever you're like thinking about. And then when you come back to whatever is causing it, my mind is more leveled and more balanced, and I come back to it sometimes with a better perspective and a better mindset about the situation, and I'm not as worked up about it. If you're noticing like if you're really trying to do things and you just can't calm yourself down, another huge thing and important thing is also to pray about whatever it is that you're just worrying about and fearing and feeling anxious about, and just praying to God and like surrendering that to Him. And it also helps just talk it out with someone else and just tell them how you're feeling. There's been times where I text my friends like, hey, I'm worried about this or da-da-da-da, and they would text me, be like, yo, this hasn't happened yet, so don't assume that it's gonna happen this way. Or they just be like, yeah, man, I got you, I'm gonna pray for you. Like, there's been so many times my friends have been there for me, but then there's also been other times where they're busy or they can't be, and it's perfectly okay if that ends up happening because God is stronger than your anxiety. So if you're in a moment where you feel like you're alone with it, you're not, and He is there with you. I know I've had times where I feel like I'm alone and I'm having an anxiety attack and there's no one there to help me through it, but I was never alone through it. God was there helping me. So yeah, I hope this has helped you in any possible way, just hearing some of my experience with it. If you have any questions or anything else, you can just comment down below and I'll do my best to respond and help you guys out. So too bad if you love this video you can only give it a like, but that's what subscribing is for. Be unique and start a wave. Peace out.